I'm Dani. I'm going to read a short flash memoir. It was published in the spring 2013 LA Review, and just a little context for the story. It takes place on December 22nd, 2002, the day that Joe Strummer died. Kind of a dark time in my life. It's called Joe Strummer is Dead. Joe Strummer is dead. I know this because I heard it on the radio in the van on my way here. Now I'm standing, slouching actually, on cold winter pavement, looking for someone to help me. A fake fur coat over my shoulders. I am filthy from last night's cocktail party. My eyes burn. A lit cigarette turns to ash between my fingers. My head lost in a fog. And Joe Strummer of the Clash is dead. "You're late," scowls a woman with brown hair held back in a white scrunchie. "And you can't smoke here." Right. Shouldn't be smoking at a volunteer fire station. I shouldn't even be here at all, but today, right now, this is my life. Taking a handout of Christmas gifts for kids who I can't afford to support. My kids who, until a few weeks ago, were living with me in the back of the van. The same van in which I wept for Joe Strummer just moments before arriving here on the shortest day of the year. I know the fire station woman is judging me. Shit, I'm judging me. I pull my scarf tighter around my turtleneck, fidgeting to cover the fresh hickey from this morning. I hope she can't smell last night's whiskey on my breath or my new lover's sweat wafting from the scarf that tangled around our arms and legs as we pushed and pulled in a borrowed bed. The new lover is a kid, really, that I dragged to a friend's house in order to shove the memory of my big love out and away from me. Ah, the big love, the big catastrophe, the big thorn in my side. He took everything he loved, except me and the girls and his Clash albums, and a few mixtapes and his Petaluma High School yearbooks, and maybe a few other records too, like Jimmy Cliff, the Pogues, Nick Cave, that he overlooked in the bottom of my box of clothes. And now I'm standing, watching the sun go down, reeking of cheap cigarette smoke, Joe Strummer dead and across the ocean. And I know with certainty that like Joe Strummer, my big love, he will die too. It strikes me with such force that I feel my lungs collapse, my insides retract, my heart drop to the floor. But at this moment in time, his death still looms out on the distant horizon and will come much later. Later, when the sun is up and hot overhead, my feet in sandals, my mind unsure and hoping that that note he left was just an empty threat. But this time in the future, years later when I have crawled up from the bottom, is not when I expect it to happen. I expect it now, when my life is shit. Maybe in the form of a not really accidental overdose. Black tar heroin pushed into his veins in some squat in the city. Any city, really. Philly, Portland, or down the freeway in San Francisco, even. Or I expect him to fall drunk through a window of a high-up story in an old warehouse somewhere. Or to get hit by a train. I don't expect it in the way it will come, when his veins are clean and his voice clear, when we've found peace again, and when I expect to see him walking with the girls on our favorite beach in Bodega Bay. But his death will come. He will leave with a bang from a gun that some idiot thinks to give him when he starts unraveling again. He will leave, alone in an empty room with whiskey bottles and dirty hands, and notes that I'll never read scrawled across the walls with a Sharpie. But that is still off in the future, on a calendar that I have yet to purchase in a month that I will come to hate. Right now, I'm choking back tears as the grumpy fire station lady helps me shove plastic bags of toys and a new red tricycle into the back of my van. The Volkswagen van that the big love and I drove back and forth across the country with the broken tape deck and the AM/FM radio that told me that Joe Strummer is gone. That he died this morning while I fucked some guy for the second time in that borrowed bed across town. The bed that I went to because my new 21-year-old lover probably lives with his parents, and I have no bed of my own. Instead, I sleep on the floor of a friend's house, waiting for a room at the shelter to open up for me and my kids. Waiting for winter to be over so the sun can come back and warm my face, and bring new life, and invite me out and away from this. I drive away from the fire station and everything that came before this moment crumbles. It's swallowed up by the Pacific Ocean behind me, slipping and vanishing with the sunset. The local radio station plays Train in Vain and then Redemption Song, and I wonder if somehow, maybe next summer, my redemption will come. Dark air ahead, I pray that something like content might be waiting for me somewhere. I'm desperate for someone to make this better. Every Little Bit Hurts makes its way from Joe Strummer's recorded voice and into my van, and the tears come hard, rushing with cheap mascara down my face. Pulling the scarf from my neck, I use it, with my new lover's sweat, to wipe my eyes.